Mrmathblog here, and this is on the nth root and rational exponents. This is an Algebra 2 lesson. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So this is called the nth root of a right here, and it can be expressed as there's a little exponent. If there's no exponent right there, there's a 1 there, so it's a to the 1 over n power. That's what this is right here. So these two are equivalent statements, the nth root of a or a to the 1 over n power. All right. So notice we've always done square roots, you guys. Well, square roots there, if there was no number right there, this is called the index number. If there's no index number there, it was understood to be a 2. Okay, and so it's understood there's a 1 right there. So the square root of a is actually a to the 1/2 power. You've probably seen that before, and if you haven't, well, now you have. Okay, so when you have rational exponents, which are fraction exponents like this one right here, a to the m over n power, the bottom number is always your index number. And this m can be placed inside the radical or it can be placed outside the radical to the nth power. Normally I use this one the most right here. Every now and then I'll use this one, but most of the time I use this one right here. Okay, so but whichever is easiest. So evaluate the expression without using a calculator. Here we go, 4 to the 5/2 power. All right, what I'm going to do is put it into a radical form. I'm going to put it in this form right here. So remember, the bottom number is the index number, so there's going to be a 2 right there, and when there's a 2 right there, that just means the square root. Okay, so this becomes the square root of 4 to the 5th. When square root of 4 is 2, 2 to the 5th is 32. All right, let's try this one. 81 to the negative 3/4 power. Okay, remember when you have a negative exponent, it goes in the denominator and becomes a positive exponent. So it's 1 over 81 to the positive 3/4 power. Now I'm going to put this in radical form. The bottom number is my index number, so it's going to be the 4th root of 81 to the 3rd power. All right, so the 4th root of 81 is 3, because 3 to the 4th is 81. So the 4th root of 81 is 3, so 3 to the 3rd is 27, so it's 1 over 27. Okay, it's not 27, it's 1 over 27. Find the indicated nth root of a. So you're going to have a few of these in your book. When n equals 2 and a equals 81. Okay, so that just means it's just going to be the square root of 81, which is 9 right there. Okay, so a is the inside number, n is the index number. Okay, so let's do it on this one here. Book's going to say plus or minus 9, you guys. I disagree with that, you guys. It's not plus or minus 9 unless it's like x squared equals 81, and then so x could be plus or minus 9. So I'm disagreeing with the book right here. It would have to be an equation, x squared equals 81, so x would be plus or minus 9. So here, when you're just taking the square root of 81, it's just 9, you guys. There's no plus or minus about it. You'd have to have an equation involved right there. Okay, so here the cube root, so I have the cube root of negative 512. Okay, so I happen to know that 8 to the 3rd is 512, so negative 8 to the 3rd is negative 8 times negative 8 times negative 8. That's negative 512. The cube root of that's negative 8. Okay. So rewrite the expression using rational exponential notation. So here, the cube root of 15, remember 15, if it doesn't have an exponent, it's understood to be a little 1 right there. So this is going to be 15 to the 1/3 power. Okay? All right, how about this one? Okay, so the 4th root of 12 to the 5th power. This is going to be 12 to the 5/4 power. Okay, it's so easy, it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? I know you guys are thinking wish your whole homework was like that. It's not, of course not. So solve the equation, round to 2 decimal places when appropriate. All right, so 6x to the 3rd equals 384. Okay, now just like solving equations, I got to divide by 6. I got to isolate this x cubed. So divide both sides by 6, and I get x cubed equals 64. And the cube root of 64, the number that when I cube it is 4. 4 cubes equals 64, so x equals 4. Okay, let's try another one here. So x minus 8 quantity to the 5th equals 100. Okay, now here I'm going to have to use a decimal right here because I got to take the 5th root of both sides, and I get x minus 8 equals the 5th root of 100. So look for your calculator, you guys, for a button that's y to the x. And what I did is all I have is like a little caret button. It's just an exponent thing. So I just recognized that this is 100 to the 1/5 power. So I punched in my calculator 100 to the 1/5 power. Okay, and then so it gave me a decimal of 2.51. Those squigglies means approximately equal to. Okay, so then I added 8 to both sides, and I got x is about equal to 10.51. Okay, here, this one I'll get an exact answer. I'm going to take the fourth root of both sides. The fourth root of 81 is 3. Okay, now here I have an equation, you guys. So here, where there's an equation, then it's going to be plus or minus, and it's plus or minus if it's an even power, you guys. It has to be you have to include a plus or minus with an even power, and when you have an equation. Okay, so the fourth root of 81 is 3, so x minus 1 equals plus or minus 3. So add 1 to both sides, you get 1 plus 3, or 1 minus 3, because it's plus or minus 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. And if you're in my Algebra 2 class, that would be the assignment I would assign you guys.